So in the last video, I talked about a problem that can beset a change agent and put them off track. And that problem was an inability or unwillingness to engineer, to build, right? To take personal responsibility for your own life success, for your own growth, for your own achievement. And a second problem that can and will absolutely keep you from experiencing your best life is an inability to play well with others. Okay? So in the first video about the causes of suffering, the problem was one of construction, an inability to construct a life worth living. This problem is an inability or unwillingness to participate well, right? This is the problem of the batterer or the criminal mind, the character, the villainous character. This is a change agent who has been mistreated growing up, usually, maybe as a young adult, maybe as currently. And they have experienced a lot of pain and emotionally when they tried to rely on others and connect with others. Consequently, they were faced with a decision to face their pain and to let it wash through them and over them. And maybe that would involve having it crying or, going to see a therapist or a counselor. But instead of doing that, they chose to put up a wall to themselves so they wouldn't have to see it. They wouldn't have to experience it. It was just too painful, they thought. Maybe they would even die if they were to really face it. And so instead of dealing with it, they blocked it out of their awareness, right? If I don't see it, it must not really be happening. And unfortunately, because they blocked that out and didn't deal with it, they now, maybe years later, go around treating other people as if those people were threatening objects. And by object, I mean non-human. They are depersonalized. Like, instead of being my beautiful partner, you're just another woman who might cheat on me, like somebody else did a few years ago. Instead of being a friend who I can confide in, you're probably a backstabbing person who's going to deceive me. And because of that faulty belief that other people cannot be trusted, cannot be relied upon, and certainly would not receive me well if I tried to reach out and connect with them. Because of that faulty belief, which was accurate at one point when they were hanging out with abusive people, right? It's not accurate anymore if you're hanging around with people that are just either neutral or supportive. And that's the problem, is you might not even be able to tell the difference because you're not looking. You're just assuming that everyone is the way that those people were in the past, and that's just not the case. But if you have this faulty belief that other people are a threat to you, or if you're a person who wants to take a shortcut to success and you think you'll be successful in life if you can force people to do what you want, right? You can make them do it by fear or intimidation or threats or coercion, manipulation, deception. If you think that that will work, or that you can exploit others who have skills, other people who have knowledge and power and resources, but maybe they're afraid of a confrontation, maybe they appear to be vulnerable for some reason, and you want to control them, you see them as easy target, right? Then you're approaching life with a predatory kind of demeanor. And that's not okay, because what it's doing is pushing people away. And also, so two things on that. Number one, when you use people or abuse people for your own selfish gain, or because you're afraid of having to compete with them on equal exposed footing, right? You don't think you measure up, so you're going to try to, sabotage them before there's a chance for anyone to see you guys on an equal level, because you are afraid that what will be seen is the truth, that maybe you do lack the skills, credentials, or credibility that you would need in order to have that job, or to have that authority, or to have that respect or that reward, right? If you're someone who does that, or someone who does that, then what you need to know is that these strategies, these forced strategies where you try to shortcut actual social connection and replace it with just dominance and making people forced to do your bidding, that only works in the short term. Because guess what? People resent those who control them. And soon enough down the road, when your victim gets a chance, they're going to run the hell away from you as fast as they can and never come back. And they're probably going to hate your guts, because you've been creating toxicity in their life. And what you are not seeming to understand, if you're doing that, is that you need other people in order to get your own human needs met. So if you want to be successful in life, it is in your own best interest to respect the boundaries of others, especially around their autonomy of will and their personal agency or ability to choose freely what they want to do. Right? It's paramount, it's imperative, very important that you treat others with equality of value, and understand that you do not have permission to dump your garbage on them. You're in a bad mood, I don't care. Don't take it out on them. You're upset, you had a bad day, keep it to yourself, unless you can say it in a way that's respectful, right? So problem number one was an engineering problem. Problem number two is a participation problem. Don't use your power in intentionally destructive ways, because you're only fooling yourself. You're not getting ahead. I personally have met a number of men who were arrested for domestic violence who all committed this mistake. They committed this fallacy of thinking when they thought they could control someone and get that person to stay with them and love them afterwards. Not going to happen. When you control people, they'll stay with you out of fear, alone, and the minute they can break free, they will. And you're going to end up going to jail probably, or otherwise ruining yourself. And also ruining children in the process, by the way. So just that's enough for now, and I'll continue on my soapbox in the next video.